hello, hello, hello. It has been a while since I've got to say that. My name is Michaela Maria Whisper, and today we're going on a walk through the woods. Welcome to P.G.M. Season 8. This is going to be the Whispered Woods and Zachary Dane tier list. Hi, Zach.
Hello, everyone.
We just recorded a Battle City video, so he might not be used to me being this high energy, but different personas for different parts of the woods. So, as I said, today we're going through the draft team's tier list. I was gonna hold this off until after I did my team reveal, but I've decided I'll just do a playlist slash reference reveal for my team. But let's get right into it. First, we're looking off at the Kanto division, which is Xylong, who is a
The
doubles trainer with fairy and flying as her Terra types.
the Midnight Slayer herself.
Oh boy, yeah. Yo, you remember that time Xylong 4-0'd Midnight in the duos finals?
It was glorious.
Oh, it was so good. So, getting.
You said, wait, is it Chandelier or Cinderace? Sorry.
Oh, Chandelure. Wow. I am.
Yeah, but I was like, hold up, am I, am I seeing things now?
And we're only a few minutes in and I'm already screwing up. Let's go. So, um, honestly,
I,
really solid team. I think there's a lot of good balance with it. The one thing I will say, Earthquake kind of is free. Like there's one with Rotom, but
uh, that's fair. There's a few resistances though. I think
there's
two.
there's two. Like
There's two.
ground type is her biggest weakness.
Yeah, I'm very curious to see Mega for Alligator though, because it hasn't been doing the best in Champions, but to be fair, Champions' singles format kind of sucks.
And the thing is, Xylong's a doubles coach. So it's like there's not a lot of singles games that she'll be in. Like looking at it, I think yeah, she has one singles game the entire season.
Man, lucky.
Yeah, no, kinda. I she has less than me, and
But
there's a lot of doubles in Kanto this season, guys.
again, lucky. I'm
I
pretty sure my entire division is singles.
I will say overall, I think Xylong has a really good team, and especially with an off season where she's been working directly with Kevin Nando a lot on duos.
This team has a lot of potential. I'm curious to see where it goes. There's like a few valuable double staples. Like there's an Intimidator. I believe Tinkatuff gets Fake Out.
I
Yeah.
mean, there's some good stuff here. My main concern is it looks like this is one of those teams that feels like it's a little bit scatterbrained, if in the nicest way possible. We have
Yes.
Porygon
Yeah.
2 for Trick Room, Baskia Legion, who's a Rain Sweeper. You got, I mean, you do have Scrafty for Intimidate and Fake Out, but then you also have like Rotom Frost, who's trying to shoot off Blizzard. Like it, and Iron Boulder, who I mean, gets booster energy, so that's a little bit less, but it's like it feels like this team wants to go in a couple different directions, but we couldn't. I don't know.
No, it's fair. I really feel like this what will make or break this team is the support Pokemon that are able to help this team because there are some pretty potent physical and special attackers on this team. They're the kind of singles Pokemon like Iron Boulder that really need that support. Uh,
And I could be wrong, but I don't think there's any redirection, is there?
um, I'm trying to think there because there's Fake Out, but that's not redirection. It's like the opposite of redirection. Getting here gets. Less Gudra, unless they for some reason gave Gudra helping hands.
That's not even redirection. That's just assistance. I mean, like you don't have a rage powder user. You don't have. I don't think you have a follow me user.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to think. I don't think there's follow me on here at all.
I mean, I do
I feel
definitely
like
see
it's.
potential in this team, but I don't think I think B personally. I don't know if
I
you're.
was gonna say. I was gonna say high C.
I think if
I
we're
could
going
go, I could go
high
a low
C,
B or
low
high C.
B, let's leave her in B for now, and then we'll come back to that after we've gotten a little bit deeper in.
Fair enough.
And then the first of our, well, I mean, would you count Francis as a new coach? They technically came in part of the way through last season, but this is their first time actually drafting a team, so I'd still consider them a new coach.
It's also weird because they've also been in. I'm pretty sure they were in our Reg F off season as well.
They're
So
in
they're
Reg
kind of
F, which is still ongoing, and they were in Battle City up until some out of
stuff happened.
battle situations led to them being removed and replaced. But they were doing
They
pretty good in
are.
Battle City. Like, I think they're
They're.
competent.
I believe they're doing fine in Reg F as well. I'm curious. It's weird because they're not really a new coach, but they're also not really an old one either.
Yeah,
It's
they're
we'll
that
see.
middle area. But we are looking at another doubles coach with Water and Fire as their Terras, and immediately off the bat we have an Articuno Frostlass. And while Snowcloak is banned, that is still an Articuno and a Frostlass.
That is fair. I actually didn't even see. I didn't even think of that. Holy shit! My brain immediately jumped to, oh shit! Look, it's the logo. It's Mawile.
I mean, Mawile is
Well,
nice, but Frostlass is what draws my eye to it immediately because that feels like
no, it's fair.
something you need to acknowledge. Like, that is a fast Aurora Veil user with Articuno.
Oh yeah. Plus, it's a faster royal user specifically that I think is the only one that can't be faked out.
Correct, because it's a ghost type.
Yeah, which me and I is there redirection on this team? If there's redirection, they're golden. Um, there is not. I
Yes,
don't
there is
think so.
Magmar.
Magmar. Oh, Magmar does get follow me. Oh shit. Okay, that just bumped. That just bumped up the team to me. Yeah, this team has a lot of like decently heavy hitters. I'm a big fan of Lipard, so I'm curious to see what Francis will do with Lipard, but
I mean, like, they also have Dracovish, which is their franchise tag, and while they don't have a way to, like, guarantee its speed up with Sand or Rain, you can just put a Choice Scarf on it.
you can put Choice Scarf on it, and they technically, because I've done it before, have Rain Dance on Lipard. I don't think it gets Sandstorm.
I mean, hey, that's still Prankster Rain Dance. That's something.
Yeah.
Which also does little, maybe not as big, but that also does affect the Kabutops. Like, having the ability to set up rain also triggers your Swift Swim on Kabutops.
And this team actually doesn't hate having a rain mode because Kartana appreciates not being hit by fire types as much. It's a good way to counter someone who tries to counter the snow mode that you already have.
Now, I will go off on the record and say this is a team that has two big weakness categories, which they are very weak to rocks and very weak to electric.
Yes, I just noticed that too.
But I mean, their speed
Yeah,
tiers are real. Like, they have some very fast Pokemon. Like, their fast boys are fast, and their slow ones are pretty slow. But even then,
well,
Reuniclus technically means that there's a potential Trick Room team.
oh, I didn't even think about that. Yeah, because especially since this is how you know I'm I'm old because a Scavalier used to be a not a like goated, but a pretty competent Trick Room user back in Gen 5.
I mean, I think this team has some really clear weaknesses, but I also do just kind of like it. Like, it's not bad. It's enough of a threat where you can never fully be sure which mode he's going to try to bring.
I think this is definitely the kind of team that we have to see the user for because this definitely seems like a very skill-based team.
Oh, yeah, no, on paper, if you gave this team to, like, a Goose, I could see Goose, like, destroying with it.
I don't want to imagine Goose with Dracovish, okay?
You know what? Fair. So, where are we thinking for this one? Because I know we're both in agreement that this kind of feels like it's going to be a. If I can find their logo. There it is. I feel like this is going to be one of those teams where when it's good, it's really good. And when it's bad,
It's really hard to come back. I think upper B is fine. Upper B. Maybe lower A if other teams seem weaker
Now,
comparison.
I'm gonna resist on talking too much about this next one because the next one is, of course, your girl, which is me, Whisper, with doubles and ghost and water as my Terra types. And yeah, I'm gonna leave this one to Zach to talk about.
I mean, I used rookie Cottony last season and I kind of liked it. So like having Prankster Tailwind right off the bat is pretty all right. Plus, I believe it gets. I don't think I used it a whole bunch, but it does get for Prankster Fake Tears, which would be really nice for Mega Gengar because it would allow Mega Gengar to be a wall breaker that nothing can stand up against outside of like normal types, which you do have some fighting type moves to hit it with, so even they're not spared by it. You have Chi Yu, so oh god, Prankster Fake Tears is gonna go crazy, isn't it?
Now, I will say for downsides of my team, I do have. It's not a. It's not a like three -3, but I am -2 against both water and ice.
Um, I also it's interesting to note that a lot of your Pokemon are also weak to ground. The reason why it doesn't show up on our dock as that is because you did thankfully also patch it up
With
with a lot of
3
Pokemon that either
immunities.
it's like you have three immunities and some resistances, but keep in mind that some of those are Pokemon that aren't going to be brought to every game, like Cottony or Altaria. Meanwhile, Pokemon like Chi-Yu, Pokemon like Mega Gengar are both weak to ground, and they're like pretty much. I'm not saying they should be brought to every game, but they are generally the best on the team. Uh, most else I can say is Water and
Now,
Ghost are pretty solid Terra types.
I will also point out I have like, I think 3 different follow me users in Lucario, Ogerpon, and was there another one?
I think you have four because I believe Togekiss gets it too.
Yeah, I have a lot of yeah,
And
Magmortar. I have a lot of
and
redirection. I have a lot of. I just have. I
does.
feel so biased talking about my team, but I feel like this is the best team I've put together.
Um, I think I can agree on both doubles and singles. I think you might have had stronger doubles teams in the past, but they were skewed more towards doubles. This one seems like it's pretty competent to handle both. Um, I don't know what else there's to say. I mean, like, yeah,
I'm leaving it up to your call. I'm giving zero input on this.
I feel like it's solidly A. I think if you pilot it well, it could be S. But I definitely do agree this is probably the best team you've put together that
Also,
I've seen at least.
new logo reveal. We did a purple Chiyu because I like the color purple.
I every time I see that logo, it just makes me wish. It makes me wish that's what Chiyu's colors were for its shiny, and then I remember what the actual colors when I remember blue flames are unfortunately the
They're
coolest thing
so
ever.
peak. They're just. And then we have Nando's second account.
Oh yeah, duh. Hey, remember that one time Dub eat Puller?
Yeah, yeah. It's really funny what happens when he manages to follow the scripts properly.
Yeah. Hey,
Um,
maybe this season the scripts will actually be followed.
well, right off the bat, we just got to acknowledge this before anything, because I think this is going to affect his overall placement. He has Water Steel as his Terra types, not bad. He is -5 to Rock, -4 to Flying, -2 to Fire.
Oof.
He has some of
Um,
the worst weaknesses and did not attempt. It does not look like he attempted to cover for them in the slightest.
that's not, and that's not even accounting for the other like smaller weaknesses he has too.
Like, now granted, I'll give him credit, he has one of the best ground immunities in this entire thing. Like, you're not touching him with ground type moves, but like when it comes to stuff like fire and flying, he just doesn't have a way to stop it.
No, and like fire is one of the best offensive types too, so it's pretty common.
Now, I will say you have water, but like you can only Terra one Pokemon.
That's true.
And even
Yeah.
then, you're not immune to it, you're just resisting it. And a strong enough fire type, even resisted, is going to do a lot of damage.
I mean, we just talked about Chi-Yu, which is one of the strongest special attackers in the game.
And he
So
has to
yeah,
play
like
me
even
twice.
yeah, I was like even like a resisted hit from that is not going to look good, and it essentially forces you to run. I feel like water. It's unfortunate to have both water and steel because with these weaknesses, I think water might be the more like the one that's probably brought more often, just because of how useful it
I mean,
is
the problem,
into the worst parts.
I was going to say, part of the problem I see is that the steel types are still weak to fire. Like,
Yeah.
potentially some of your flying types are levitators. Like, a levitator's fine, but if you go Steel, Terra, Shaman, Sky, no, it's no longer going to be immune to ground.
That's true. I think there's a few Pokemon that do benefit from the Terras though. Um, but not. I think most of them are going to be using this Terra defensively, which is going to be. I really feel like Does going to have to really have a handle on that button this season.
And if we've learned anything from previous seasons,
Yeah, that's why I said it. There's a reason I believe the nickname is Does Greninja.
I'm going to be really real here. I just based off what we're seeing, I don't think there's a world where I can put Duh above C.
I was already thinking C. I
Like I don't want to
it
be
has some.
I don't want to say D right now, but like compared to everything else we've seen, this is the hashtag bottom of the barrel.
I think because of Does, I think what saves Duh from D tier is, and I assume this is where Nando helped. I think Duh has pretty decent speed tiers.
I mean, yeah, no,
Like,
he has some really fast Pokemon, but then hypothetically, if a Trick Room gets set up, if he brings a Speed core and then Trick Room gets set up, what is he doing?
technically he does. He has Inga Trick Room Tech technically with Dusknoir.
I mean, that's
Um,
that's fair. I'll give him that, but I
he doesn't have much to combat it. You're right. If Dusknoir is taken down, he is going to be really, really fighting for it. But
I could see
I think this
this.
will be.
I feel like this is one of those teams where with a few tweaks over the course of the season, it could get a lot better or it could get a lot worse. It also depends on how he plays it.
I can agree. Yeah, I'm hoping Nando gives him some suggestions that changes the team for the better. But we'll see. This is literally going to be a does he follow the script?
And then let's hop over to Galler next, just because it's the
You
next
already
thing I see.
placed. You already placed Duh, right?
Yeah, he is currently C.
See. Okay. Galler.
And now, this is another situation of Manas
Please.
stepped in at the end of last season, but this is going to be their first full season as a coach. And
I
right
think
off,
they've all because weren't they also in Battle City as well?
they were in Battle City. They almost were in duos, but I decided to team with Cappy, so they decided to sit out because they didn't want to play with a random.
That's fair. I'm really glad that a lot of people from Battle City low key got recruited into into this PGM season. It made signups a lot easier.
We do have Grass and Fairy in doubles. I do know the logic behind the Grass and Fairy picks because they did talk to me about it. They are one of my partners, so but looking at this team, it is it is something. Like you don't have a lot of apparent weaknesses. Like I think their worst weakness is against ice types.
Even though it's not that bad. Who are your resistances though? Okay. I was wanting to double check it because a lot of people don't account for freeze dry, which is unfortunate because freeze dry hits through the water resist.
Yeah.
But you at least have one resistance, like one complete resistance to it in
Typhlosion.
Devotion. Yeah, I
Yeah.
couldn't. Sorry, I saw it on the sheet. I just couldn't for some reason find it
But
on the
I
doc.
mean, let's just accept the elephant in the room. This is a Sun Core. and I think it's the only Sun core.
Yeah, I tried a Suncore not last season, but I think the season before that. It's not easy to run, which is frustrating because Gen 9 introduced a lot of really cool Sun Pokemon.
Yeah, I mean, but also it's a Sun team that got Zamazenta, just straight up.
That's a good fucking point. I think the key things here is because w- this might just be bias for me, but I think one of the strongest support Sun Pokemon in the game is Hisuian Lilligant, just because it has it has a lot of good support moves, like after you, I believe it gets Helping Hand, it gets Pollen Puff,
But not
and
even
having
that.
that,
We have two Lilligants. You have to deal with it twice.
yeah, and Zardwai is one of the strongest Sunsetters we've ever seen.
I mean, let's just put it this way.
That's playable because let's be real, the strongest Sunsetter in the game is Primal Groudon, but that is rarely usable.
Let's also just acknowledge the fact that in VGC, Hisuian Lilligant and Charizard Y is a very viable competitive lead.
Um,
Like, just straight up, that is a duo that is incredibly good, even
yeah,
in actual official play.
I think I think because they both get Sleep Powder, right? It's been a while, but I
Lilligants,
don't.
yeah, I believe they get sleep powder. They don't get spore, but they
Okay.
at least get chlorophyll sleep powder.
Well, yeah, because that's why Venusaur is one of like the preferred sun support Pokemon as well, just because of that too.
But even then, if you look at everything else they managed to get, Sandy Shocks. Maybe not the best Paradox Pokemon, but it helps cover for some of Charizard's weaknesses and gets the Sun boost. I just like Lamora. Like, I think it's a good Pokemon.
I initially disliked it for literally no reason. I was just being petty. But since the Mega and since using it in the Poison Gym a few times, I think I've grown a liking to it. It's very useful.
Let's also.
I'm a
Oh,
I was just gonna say I'm also a big fan of Meteor Beam sets, so
I mean,
Glimora is like the best user of that, I think,
you
currently.
also have access to Meowstick, which is. Oh boy. That's just one of the
I'm
better support Pokemon.
no shade to Monast. I was slightly peeved when that was grabbed because we have a good friend Trico who is a strong supporter of Meowstick, but I I am curious to see what Monast does with Meowstick. It is one of the cooler prankster Pokemon that
And
we have in
then,
the game.
even if we want to ignore everything else, at the absolute minimum, we have Choice Scarf Typhlosion in the sun with Eruption.
That's true, and the craziest part is that I think you can also run it with choice specs after you Lilligant, which is I don't want to think about that.
Like,
That just that's just cheat. That's just chi with extra steps at that
but
point.
even then, I could be wrong. I think Charizard gets Tailwind. There is a world where you could Tailwind set the sun with Charizard and start clicking Choice Specs Eruption with Typhlosion.
Yeah, and like you were just saying, fire being one of the most offensive types means you can't sometimes you can't just click eruption. You can just click heat wave and it just destroys, especially in the sun. Um,
I mean,
does Comfey do in doubles?
oh, Comfey is one of the best support Pokemon. Triage boosts things like Giga Drain and like +3 priority on healing.
Oh, it's crazy about if it gets pollen puff because triage pollen puff would be so good.
Like, I'm gonna be real. I
Oh,
personally think I put Monast above in like the highest of B so far, maybe even low A.
Comfey also gets tailwind.
Like, I feel like
This is I didn't realize this is actually a decently usable Pokemon in doubles too. Yeah, you're right.
I
It gets
honestly
tailwind. It gets
think,
trick room.
yeah, being
Okay.
completely genuine, I think Monast is bottom of A. I think the main thing that prevents me from saying like very solid A is even as somebody who is closely affiliated with them, I don't know if they have these. This feels like one of those teams where there is going to be some skill intensive gameplay, and if you misplay, it is going to hit you hard.
I somewhat agree. I will also add on, this does seem like the kind of team where if you have a way to shut down the sun, it might be in a little bit of trouble, but even then, I think there's enough bulky Pokemon that it might be able to hold out.
So, would you
We'll
agree
see.
bottom of A?
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
And to point out, we are trying to not let like the coaches play like the skill level of the coaches fully determine it, but it is a factor when discussing these teams.
I will agree on that with one exception because I
Goose is
want Doe to get
Goose is going in
Goose.
S. I'm sorry. I don't think
Yeah, I was
there's a
like
way
Goose,
around it.
and I want Doe to succeed so hard, but Doe just never does. I'm hoping this season that it. Maybe this season. This season it'll change. Oh boy,
Next up is Boonty.
one of the washed coaches we have right now.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
believe I believe Boonty made playoffs once or twice, but I don't think he's made it there since.
Unfortunately. Right off the bat, we have to acknowledge he has almost no way to stop ice, and most of his Pokemon are weak to ice.
To be fair, another thing that should be pointed out is the ones that aren't weak to ice, like Mega Lucario, still don't want to like be taking too many hits.
Yeah.
Mega Lucario is really strong, but it's one of the Pokemon we have that is almost the very definition of a glass cannon.
So, I mean, I definitely think there are some bright spots on this team. You have Ogerpon Wellspring. You have the Mega Lucario. Ceruledge is a good Pokemon. You have Pincurchin, which combos with Iron Jugulus, but that's about it.
And actually, it
Oh,
combos
and
with
Raichu.
Raichu Alola as well.
Okay.
It actually combos really well because I forgot what Surge Surfer does, but I know it does something when
I
electric
think
terrain is active.
I think it doubles your speed. I could be wrong.
I don't know why Raichu would want that, but I mean, I guess speed control is really important. What does it do? Surge Surfer. Yep, speed doubles. Okay, I mean, like, fair enough. It's essentially the same thing as Chlorophyll.
I mean, Electro Ball is nice with that.
Ooh, yeah, I never thought of that. That's actually, yeah, that's actually really cool. I think there's some cool Pokemon on here, but I think that the elephant in the room is his speed tiers are not very high.
Let's see. The fastest of his Pokemon is Mega Lucario at 112. The slowest is Pincurchin at 15.
Yeah, his
He,
lower speed tiers aren't bad, but it's the higher ones that I think are really going to catch up with him.
I mean,
Because,
he does have three Pokemon at 110, and one of them can double its speed. So like, I don't think he's completely out of luck, but
it is going to be really, I think it's going to be really hard. Because I think the main reason I brought it up is because 112 in like Gen 6 would have been pretty good, pretty all right. 112, especially for a Mega in today's day and age, is just, you really have to have something to justify it at this point.
yeah.
I really hate to say it, but power creep is just that much present in this, in like, not even in just in this generation, but in like some of the new megas too.
I
Like a
mean,
lot of them just got 120 base speed.
I will be genuine looking at the other people in the Galar division. There's only two Pokemon that actually outspeed it. Like,
Oh, wait, really?
out of everything
Um,
in here, there's only two things, which is Eternatus and Zekrom and Zamazenta.
and those two are legendaries that can only hold
Berries.
a berry.
Like, nothing on Kev's team outspeeds him. It's only Eternatus and Zamazenta. So it is 112 is technically the one of the fast is the third fastest in this entire division. Not by much, but it is.
That's that's a good point. I think this is definitely a team. This isn't a bad team, but it's also a team that we definitely have to. I wouldn't call this one a skill-based team. This one feels like a, what's the word? This team feels like it wins or loses in team builder, if you know what I mean. Like
Like, if I'm completely
this,
honest, this team is one of those ones that I feel like there's not a lot of high synergy. Like you have
No,
a little bit of
there's the
synergy, but not a lot.
yeah, you have like electric drain. I think that's kind of just it. Yeah. I think something I haven't been paying attention to too much just because we don't have a lot of people who also pay attention to it, but unaware Pokemon are still like pretty valuable in this day and age, and I believe Clodsire gets it.
Now, I will also say the caveat here is he is a singles coach. So, I think some of these Pokemon get a little bit better in singles.
Oh, like 100%. My Lucario is like infinitely better in singles as opposed to doubles
Also,
itself.
the Dunsparce. As a Serene Grace merchant, I understand the
Yeah.
appeal.
Um,
I think this
I
is
think
B tier,
ultimately,
though.
yeah, I think like Boonty has because I think it's like wins or loses in team builder because like Boonty has the tools he needs to succeed with this team,
But the question is,
and I don't think it's going to be
where in B do you think this goes? Like, do we think it's like I kind of almost put it under Xylong?
um see I want to and I think I just this could I think this is definitely bias coming in specifically because I've always been a big fan of Mega Lucario. I adaptability is just one of the coolest abilities, so I think middle of B is just fair enough just for Mega Lucario. It's gonna be outclassed as soon as the new Mega Lucario comes out, but like
That depends on ability.
yeah.
If it has a bad ability, it's gonna be dead on arrival,
Oh,
unfortunately.
it's Lucario. It's at least gonna have a like they're like bare minimum they're gonna give it one of like Lucario's base abilities at the very least. And even if it got one of the base abilities, it's gonna be pretty solid.
Now I will say for this next one, Kev hasn't picked his Terras yet, but that's fine. We haven't taken those too deeply into account. And we also just,
I
I think we need to address the elephant off the rip. Kev is one of the few people on in the server who has actual experience going to like play in regionals and stuff like that.
that's true, yeah.
Which you can tell
It hasn't
colors part of
he's
his team building because like he has the Incineroar Landorus Goldango combo.
it hasn't he Day 2 before?
I believe so. I think
Yeah.
he's brought it up at least once in chat where there was an event both him and Wolfie went to, and he technically ranked higher than Wolfie.
It's wild. Yeah. Check this team out. His team feels a lot like Boonty's, not Boonty's, Nast's, where there's not like a huge amount of weaknesses.
I mean, he doesn't really
Um,
like fairy types.
no. But to be fair, there's some Pokemon that don't necessarily hate it. Like technically, if he withholds the Mega for Mega Charizard X, it resists Fairy.
I mean,
I don't know if that changed that too much.
there's definitely a couple things here that I again trying to take the trainer skill level out of the equation. I definitely think there's aspects of this team that are super solid. It being in singles feels a little off because things like I feel like Pokemon like Incineroar and Landorus want to be in doubles, like, but he'll still have doubles
Yeah,
games.
yeah. I think he's had Incineroar contracted for a few seasons now, which
I'm gonna be real.
I do find it interesting from a singles perspective.
Do you think this is one of those teams where we would actually rank it higher if he was in doubles? Personally,
Yes.
I think yes. Like
Yeah, no, like without a shadow of a doubt, yes.
I think the fact that he's in singles is already lowering this in my mind, and like his speed tiers aren't the best. His fastest Pokemon is Espeon at 110.
Yeah, and I mean, he has Galvantula for speed control with both Sticky Webs and Electro Web, but if you're not able to outspeed those Pokemon in the first place,
I mean, he also
like we already mentioned,
does have Tailwind setters also.
he does. I think. what's crazy is I remember in the past his teams had some of these Pokemon, but they weren't like they still felt like they could still be used in singles. But this time around, a lot of them just seem very doubles focused.
Like, I love Kev, but I definitely think like this is one of those teams where if it was doubles, I'd probably give it like very high B. But as it sits now, I think he's at the bottom of B.
I think I can agree because I actually was just thinking about how he has Riolu, who we've seen do pretty cool stuff in doubles. I don't know what Prankster Riolu does in singles though, if I'm gonna be real.
Neither like,
Because it's even a follow you Pokemon, so like it's useful for that like that role in doubles too.
and that's what makes this so weird because it's just like you look at this collection of Pokemon and you're like, this has to be good, but then it feels like it's fundamentally in the wrong format.
I'm like genuinely checking. I'm genuinely looking at Riolu and seeing what does it do in singles, and I think the answer is it clicks toxic and dies. Yeah.
Like, I think just knowing how Kev is as a trainer and the quality of these Mon strictly keep it out of C.
Oh yeah.
But
The I think some of these Pokemon on this team I think are too good to justify placing in C.
yeah, it's like
Like they're
I
just
don't feel comfortable putting Incineroar, Landorus, Goldango any lower than B, but I can't give
he
them a
also
high B because it feels like this just
he also has some Pokemon that have some decent chance of setup because like you mentioned he does have tail I think he has Tailwind and Braviary and then he
Braviary
has
again. Charizard technically gets it. I could be mistaken. Does Landorus get it?
I don't think Landorus gets it. They're like Gyarados, they rarely give flying type moves to them
I gotta
unless
double check because this is actually I think that will affect a little bit.
That's a good question. I feel like the answer is no. Yeah, I was gonna say I swear if they could run Tailwind, I feel like the prankster ones would.
No, it doesn't.
Or the prankster
Okay.
ones or I like because the prankster ones do, I feel like it would. Sorry.
Yeah, like, but
Uh
I mean, it is a good sheer force sweeper if you have that setup. But the problem
and
is in singles,
Kier
you're not gonna keep that setup.
no, and I believe Kieran White gets scale shot, but there's not a guarantee it's gonna want to run it for every match. And it also can't run loaded dice so that you can guarantee get it to hit every time.
Yeah. And then we have the goat.
Rolling.
Water and Steel is Terra's, which, if we've seen anything over the years, that is a very good.
He was actually asking me about his Terra specifically, and I was trying to give him advice on it. I think he was trying to go for something else initially, but
Honestly, I just love the
what
idea of Water Terra Ferrothorn. That sounds like it would be hard to break.
I believe I specifically brought that up because I was like, I mean, like, I think he might have mentioned a different thing other than Terra Steel, but I was like 100% Water Terra just because like it's just so it's not even just for that. There's other Pokemon on this team that I feel like want to go water or at the very least could decently use it because you actually have offensive utility with the Water Terra for this team with Golduck and Volcanion.
I will also point out Rolling is the first team we've talked about that has no overall weaknesses. Like he has a couple that are zeros, but overall none of his are in the negative.
No, which is really hard to do.
I mean,
So
it's Rolling. We all know his whole thing is trying to go for a balance, even if he's the only one who understands how that balance works.
yeah, from what I can tell, he's probably the person who he doesn't play the closest to me, but he does play a Pokemon the closest to me because I also like to run like bulky offensive Pokemon. And so I think this team will definitely do him a lot of good in that respect because a lot of them are just really bulky or at the very least can take a hit or two, with like one exception.
I mean, like
Maybe
the main critique I'll give to him is he probably also has the fewest really fast Pokemon. He has Eternatus at 130, Megalodios at 110, and Hisui and Voltorb at 100. And those are his
To be
only
fair,
3-digit speeds.
that is true, but to be fair, I looking at divisions, I'm pretty sure Eternatus is the second fastest. Sama Centipedes it out. Okay. It is the second fastest among people in this division.
Now, I will say with the
And
caveat, Gorging Fire does get Dragon Dance, and we know Rolling is a fan of running Dragon Dance.
well, to be fair, it's one of the it's like one of the easiest ways to one of the easiest and best ways to run gouging fire.
So,
Um,
but that
like
is a valid argument to point out the fact of we know his primary build makes that faster.
and if he's in doubles, he has access to Megalodios Tailwind as well.
Unfortunately, he is a singles coach primarily, and it looks like Rolling actually only has a singles double game the entire season, and it's one of his games against Monast.
To be to be fair, that's probably for the best. This team looks like it would kind of struggle in doubles.
Yeah, no, this team feels like one. It's the exact opposite of Kev, where if this was doubles, we would be slamming it because this is a singles team through and through.
Yeah, and I think I think he can. This might be speaking to his skill, but I think he might be able to pilot this decently well this season. This feels like a team that could like if you. I feel like if a few things might be changed around over the season, this might bring him to playoffs.
Hey, we'd love to see it. We haven't had a rolling playoff run since he was still known as Simon. But
That's true. I forget about that.
like I said, I really like this team. Do we think this is an A rank team though? Like he doesn't have any major
My
exploitable weaknesses, but his speed tiers just feel like they're lacking.
um, I feel like it's mostly just because there's some gaps, and like you said, he only has 3 over 100. Even then, I still feel like it's solid enough that justifies A, because he even has stuff that's just overall good to have. He has one of the cooler ground immunities in Orthworm. He has Klefki, who I'm at least a big personal fan of as a prankster Pokemon, because it has a lot of cool prankster
Oh, it has
utility.
purposes.
Yeah, and like Steel Fairy has always been a like what at least it's not the objective best type in the game, but it is usually in the top three.
All right. But we're thinking bottom
I
of
feel
A.
I think middle of A is fine. I almost want to give it upper A